Do you want to know what it takes to be an REO agent? REOBroker features some of the top REOBroker agents in the industry. Let's meet one today on the REOBroker Agent Spotlight. Welcome to REOBroker, where we celebrate the nation's leading real estate professionals serving in the default and REO space. REOBroker is a national professional REO organization that has supported real estate agents in the default industry for over 30 years. My name is Brandy Nelson, Executive Director of REOBroker, and today we're spotlighting one of the most respected and accomplished brokers in the business, Mary Baca. Life Realty District Mary Baca Broker, license number 45141 out of Nevada. Today, we recognize Mary Baca, a powerhouse in Las Vegas real estate for more than 25 years and consistently ranked in the top 1% of agents in the Valley. Mary served as branch manager, general manager, and corporate broker for Century 21 Money World, leading the #1 Century 21 brokerage in the world, overseeing more than 350 agents and a staff of 22. She also served on the Nevada Real Estate Board, reviewing grievance and ethics cases, and later partnered with the #1 REO agent in the world, managing and closing over 1,200 REO transactions per year. In 2010, she opened Desert Lights Realty, a multi-million-dollar operation built on her reputation for integrity, reliability, and deep REO expertise. Mary leads a skilled team capable of handling every phase of the REO process, from occupancy checks and preservations to BPOs, marketing, and a smooth close of escrow. Mary Baca remains one of the most trusted and knowledgeable REO professionals in the industry. Welcome, Mary, to the REOBroker Agent Spotlight.
Thank you, Brandy, for having me here. I'm excited to be here.
It's great to have you with us today. First, how are you feeling about the interview?
Fabulous. Thank you for having me, like I said.
Before we dive in, tell us what's happening in your world. Do you have any exciting listings or recent wins you'd like to share?
REO is still very slow in Las Vegas market. We currently have 46 on the market. So not a lot of wins or exciting things, but we are starting to see an uptick, which is, promising. I don't have any recent ones. I have older ones. I'm not sure what you want to share.
Well, let's talk about what inspired you to pursue a career in real estate.
Perfect. So I was a business person in the Bay Area of California, and I ended up getting a divorce. I moved to Las Vegas with my 4 children. I got a phenomenal job, which should have been sufficient to support. And in reality, it wasn't going to be enough. So I had to get creative and decide where I could diversify and make a diversified income, and real estate shouted out at me. So I dove in quickly, went to school, passed my license, and jumped right in.
Perfect. And what motivates you to start your brokerage or team, and what do you enjoy most about it?
Well, the irony behind starting my own brokerage wasn't a thought. It was almost a necessity. At that time, in 2010, Century 21 sold to Prudential. We had mutual accounts, Freddie and Fannie, and we couldn't both be there. So my partner and myself, I looked at him and I said, look, we can do this. I ran the whole company. I'm very skilled at doing that. Let's just open up our own brokerage. And we took off. It was running smoothly. All was great. We brought over several agents. I did the REO side. The brokerage, did the retail side. And then we did that for about, I bought out my partner, 3 years into the venture. And then about 12 years later, they ended up selling the existing building. And I had a choice of either moving again and starting it up. And I didn't want to do that because it was with family and during the holidays. So I called a very dear friend of mine that I worked with back in Century 21 who owned a brokerage. And that's how I landed at Life Realty.
Got it. And what does a typical day look like for you?
Typical day, I'm a go-getter. I'm a workhorse. I'm up at 6 a.m. I immediately get my coffee. I go right to my emails, check everything, start assigning what needs to happen. If we have any new assignments, etc. I start firing off the necessary emails. I go to each of the bank website platforms looking for our tasks at hand, and it just moves and grooves throughout the day.
And you've worked with banks, servicers, and investors. What's the key to building long-term relationships in REO?
Good question. To be an REO and to last, they're looking for one, dedication, consistency, meeting all their timelines, not waiting till the task is due, get it done ASAP. Accuracy, I mean, obviously they really key into your valuations. You need to be an expert in your marketplace. The buyer pool around that asset, knowing days on market, expenses, they need to trust you that you'll protect their asset at the best of your ability on behalf of them. You're their eyes and ears only. You have to weekly inspect those properties because things happen, and you have to be quick on your feet to solve a problem on behalf of your client.
And things definitely do happen in REO.
Sure thing.
What trends are shaping the real estate market in Las Vegas, especially in the REO space?
So trends now, I mean, we just came from several years of overgrowth in appreciation due to lack of inventory. So what we're starting to see is an uptick in inventory. We're starting to see longer days on market. We're starting to see some price corrections, but most of that, Brandy, to be honest, where they were overpriced to begin with. So now they're finally setting a price where they need it to be. Although it's considered a seller's market, we're starting to see balance. We're starting to see that the buyers now have negotiating power. They're able to negotiate price, ask for some concessions. So I would call it a more balanced market, both buyer and seller side.
And how have you seen the market evolve over the past 2 decades?
Well, for us, that's a big loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, we experienced the biggest crash in the housing market in the nation. Las Vegas during that time had over 26,000 homes on the market. That was big for us on the REO side, but as you can imagine, for economy was not. We went through the COVID era. So we went from 26,000 at one point to 1,500 during the COVID era. And now today we're up just over 8,000 listings. So we're starting to see, as I said earlier, a more balanced, normal market.
Huge difference in numbers.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for agents looking to improve the quality of their valuations or earn more BPO business?
Okay. So for my business model, Brandy, I've never done BPOs for fees. I always did BPOs to obtain that asset or that assignment. And so for me, I had to be Johnny on the spot. It wasn't mass production, quick little BPOs. You have to be consistent. Again, meet your timelines. You need to know your market. You have to be an expert in that market. You have to look at absorption rates. We do an as-is value, a repaired value. You need to be spot on your repairs. You need to gravitate with market conditions because today's repairs are today's prices, tomorrow's are different. You need to concentrate on length of time. So pricing, most of the banks and lenders want them gone in 60 days, at most 90. So we have to be very accurate and just be consistent. Define your reason for pricing. Be able to satisfy that definition based on facts.
And what are some of the biggest challenges you're seeing today with distressed properties, and how are you helping clients navigate them?
Good question. In a normal market, at least for us, the default is filed in 90 days, and in a year and a half, we're getting that asset. Nevada's a non-judicial foreclosure state. However, based on that significant crash, most of the lenders and banks have elected to run it through the court process. So for us today, I'm not getting that asset for 8 to 10 years from default. So as you can imagine, most of those people have vacated those properties. So we're seeing pricing volatility. We're seeing uncertainty regarding conditions. We're seeing a lot of vandal damages. 80% of our inventory across the valley is HOA maintained. So due to the length of time that it's sat, we're seeing violations, fines, liens. It's not fun.
I know all about HOAs in my area.
Yes.
So let's talk about technology. How has technology changed the way you do business?
Well, I'll tell you, from back in the day to today, it's a game changer. At a quick glance, you can go into your CRM and you know everything that's going on with that property, from conception of the assignment to if it was an occupied property, where are we at for the eviction or cash for keys. You have your utilities, notes, your field reps, that visit the properties. You can go in and check the photos. It assists with BPOs. It's dynamite.
You mentioned the CRM that's been very helpful in your business. What is that CRM called? And why do you use it?
I'm sorry to cut you off, Brandy. So the CRM that I've used since we made the move, we used to be on REOX launch. And when we opened up our own brokerage, that platform went away. So it wasn't supported anywhere, any further. So I did a lot of research, cost sensitive, robust, the things that I personally needed for our particular business, utilities, everything. And what we found was the best solution was Realty Pilot. It's very cost efficient. It has everything that we personally need: photos, utilities, notes, inspections, everything about the property. I mean, it works wonders for us.
Perfect. Thank you. And managing such a diverse portfolio, how do you approach the unique challenges of each property type?
Well, and in Vegas, we have a lot of that. So we have extremely elderly properties that are, dilapidated. So again, we have to be really sharp with our pencil and figure out how we come up with those values for the bank. And then we go all the way into the high-end luxury market. I've seen many professionals. I've seen, stars. We've gotten their properties, and there's a lot going on. So just zoning in on your skills. It doesn't matter if it's a small property, a high-end property, the metrics is still the same. You make the necessary adjustments accordingly.
And can you share a success story where your expertise made a significant difference for a client?
Sure. So ironically enough, one of my big accounts reached out to me, and we had the Liberace mansion. And the background behind that was it had been listed twice from two other brokers, and it never moved. And they were struggling because the value at that time, and again, I sold that property in 2014. So they were struggling with value because the recommendations from the previous agents were $200,000. Now, mind you, this is a 15,000 square foot home in a very old area. They bought several lots, built this mansion, functional obsolescence everywhere. And they were taking the comps immediately, which at 1,400 square feet, 1,600 square feet, and trying to adjust. It had been stripped of all of the ornate, fixtures, etc. And when I dove into it, I did a big conference call and I said, guys, if you're looking at straight numbers, maybe 200, yeah. However, you can't negate the star factor. Liberace is well known. There's people that are obsessed with them, and that all comes with value. And so they rolled the dice on me. I listed it for 500. I got the buyer for 500 cash, and it was a win-win all the way around.
Awesome story. What keeps you motivated in your real estate career for more than 30 years?
Just what I said. It's a constant moving target. I'm continuously losing, listen to me, learning. I am in awe of the transitions and the different components, for example, technology. working with our clients, seeing their successes. I also have a team driving them up, seeing their successes. It's just, I absolutely live and breathe real estate.
And how has being a member of REOBroker.com benefited your business?
So I hadn't heard of REOBroker.com until I partnered up with my associate back in the day. And he was a big member with you guys, and I joined with him, and just seeing, so I managed the chat line. He did not.
Yeah.
And just seeing the willing to share, the vendor, opportunities, the struggles, the challenges, the successes, the point direction to get to the next level. That was the biggest thing for me. And then at one point, when I opened up my own brokerage, an agent that I wasn't familiar with, because he was out of state, called me and said, Mary, I just came from a conference and they said HUD is looking for a broker in Nevada. Here's who you call, you do this, do that. And I actually landed the account because of that.
Which is great. And I thank you for emphasizing on that. Part of being part of REO Broker is that we all, the members, share with each other and
Yes.
we help each other out. What advice would you give to newer agents who want to specialize in the REO or default services? And where should they start?
That's a very loaded question. One, it is, of my opinion, it definitely is not for the weary. It takes money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be dedicated. In the retail side, they say prospect through it. You have to prospect through it in REO as well. You need to stay relevant. Your resume needs to be current. You need to go after the business. They're not looking for you. As much as we'd like to think that, you have to go after the business. Again, your skills, accurate valuations, time consistency, meeting all those timelines. Make sure you visit your properties. So many back in the crash got into the business and they actually did a very, very poor job. And so it took us veterans coming in to clean it all up.
Agree with that. There's been many horror stories of properties that have not been checked. Thank you for sharing your insights and experiences, Mary. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like asset managers or prospective clients to know about you or your business?
Sure. I've been in this business almost 28 years now. I come from a business background. I have a broker's license. I ran a huge company and did tons of volume. My partner and I did 1,200 deals a year for a strong 3 and 4 years. So I've seen it all. I was able to manage a large staff because of doing that type of production. Valuations, I put my eyes on those. We had staff maybe doing data entry and so forth, but I was the one that blessed the values because you and I know our scorecards are what we suggested and what we sold it for. So I feel that that's one of my biggest strengths. I love what I do. My eyes and ears are yours.
Valuations are huge. And going back to my question on what should an agent do, that's what an agent should learn is valuations. Go out there, and even if you're not doing a BPO for a company, go out there and value these properties and what you think that property is. And that's how you will get the experience, is valuating those properties are huge.
Correct.
So Mary, if someone wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way they could reach out to you to work with you?
I'm Johnny on the spot. I answer my phone. My cell number is 702-588-8944. My email is Mary, Mary, at Desert, Desert, Lights, Lights, Realty, Realty.com.
Perfect. And thank you for sharing your experience with us today. We appreciate your valued membership at REOBroker.com. Your story is a true testament to the power of knowledge, relationships, and consistency in REO real estate. To learn more about Mary Baca, broker at Life Realty District Broker, license number 45141 in Henderson, Nevada, you could call her at 702-588-8944 or email her at mary@desertlightsrealty.com, her website, www.desertlightslv.com. For more great interviews with top performing agents across the country, visit REOBroker.com and download the Power Is Now TV app on your phone or streaming device. We're streaming, podcasting, and publishing stories about the top agents who are members of REO Broker, featured in REO Broker magazine, available now at REOBroker.com. You can also catch every episode of our shows on the Power Is Now TV network, streaming 24/7 on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. Just search for REO Broker TV or watch directly at REOBroker.com/TV. Prefer to listen on the go? Tune into the REOBroker.com podcast, part of the Power Is Now podcast network, available on all major podcast platforms. And don't forget to connect with us. Follow REOBroker.com across all social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates, and join our professional community on Active Rain and Set Schedule. Stay connected, stay informed, and stay inspired with REO Broker, because we do more than sell REO. We build relationships, opportunities, and communities. Thank you for watching REO Broker Agent Spotlight, and have a great day.
Everyone knows the power of social media and the impact a strong online presence has in this day and age. But most real estate agents simply do not have the time to manage all the advertising and marketing details, and that's where the Power Is Now Media steps in. We are the answer you have been looking for. Let us help put your brand on the map. We will create customized graphics for weekly full-page ads, social media content, video, and podcast content for you. Sound complicated and expensive? It is affordable and easy. We have the best experts on the job. Go to thepowerisnow.com and find us under the VIP Agent tab to learn more. This is the future of real estate. Join today. thepowerisnow.com.